And just like that, the first set of fixtures for the Premier League is over, and Manchester United have already recorded their first loss. Some say it couldn't have gone any better. There was goals, there was football, and there was Pascal Gross and Erling Haaland topping the Premier League goal-scoring charts for the first game week, sending Manchester United fans right back down to earth. One was destined to rip up defences up and down the country. The other scored a brace against West Ham. Now, there's been a lot of talk about how Erling Haaland's going to fit in this Manchester City side. Like we know, they like to keep possession, play the ball around, do not force it, play the extra pass. And it was sort of, Haaland was always sort of touted as this person that would play on the transition, break quickly, the counter-attack, with that blistering speed. So how exactly were those two parties going to marry up? And were they going to fit? Turns out, they do, kind of, ish. There were problems, but he managed to get his 2 goals in the end, and we'll break them down. Now, my only problem with Haaland during the first 30 minutes of this game was I was just scared he was going to get bored, to be honest with you. He's playing on the last man, on his shoulder, trying to get in behind, but Manchester City were having none of it. They were playing the normal possession game. They had the 2 fullbacks essentially playing as 8s in the middle of the park, making this sort of fluid midfield with Rodri. You had the 2 centre-backs linking up play, and they were basically just passing it between them, to be honest with you. Jack Grealish would get the ball every now and then if he fancied it and give it away. Now, don't get me wrong, he can probably do this as well. I mean, he's big enough, but he's not the type of striker that's going to want the ball into feet and then exploit the space with runners in behind him. He's not going to want to nod it on or hold up the play. He wants to use that space for himself. He wants to play on the last shoulder, constantly looking to get in behind and hopefully end up with a 1v1 situation against the keeper. And to be honest with you, Man City were passing this ball around. They were making West Ham drop off really deep. They kept a decent shape, to be fair to them, West Ham, and that just left no room in behind for Haaland. And that was until a cute little through ball in behind the defence of West Ham. Very short amount of space to play with, but Haaland manages to just nick it round the goalkeeper that I think had been on the pitch for like 30 seconds, maybe. And he wins himself a penalty. And just like that, like we all expected, Haaland slotted away his penalty with ease into the bottom corner and went away and did this little celebration, his little famous little, ooh, I'm a footballer, but I'm also spiritual in a sense, sort of multifaceted. And then Gary Neville described the goal as sending shudders through to the rest of the Premier League. I mean, the run was good. The touch around the keeper was nice. Not exactly groundbreaking though, is it? And as for West Ham in the first half, they didn't particularly show very much, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, they kept a decent shape throughout the 45, keeping Manchester City at bay for most of it. But they felt like they were just lacking any sort of creativity when going forward. If they get the ball, it would end up going all the way back to the goalkeeper. And I think that is something that Manchester City don't get enough credit for, is their off-the-ball work. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona team was magnificent at getting back the ball as soon as they lost it. And I think Manchester City have shades of that. Their pressing is nice, their shape is nice off the ball, and West Ham just couldn't deal with it, couldn't link up any play, couldn't get any attacks. I think they ended up having less passes than minutes played in the first half, which is new, isn't it? Antonio as well just seemed off it today for me. I mean, he went down injured a couple times, to be fair to him, but I remember back to last season, especially against those top 6 defences, he was constantly causing trouble, backing into the big centre-backs, letting runners in behind him, just constantly being a nuisance, keeping them on their toes, and there was none of that today. He had to come deep, obviously, because the team is defending deeply. He's no point just standing there, and when he did get the ball, just very little output. The second half was definitely a lot more competitive between the two clubs. West Ham probably got a Scottish bollocking at half time, and they came out looking a lot more just braver in their passing. They managed to surpass their entire passes in the first half in the first 20 minutes of the second half, and they just a lot more braver in their passing, managed to play through the lines, get Manchester City centre-backs running towards their own goal and put in a few crosses here and there. Nothing, too inspirational for West Ham fans to just feed on, but it was an improvement at least. But the party was ruined, as always, by the Norwegian just bull, as Kevin De Bruyne places an absolutely beautiful through ball, splitting the defence. Haaland with a curved run, times it perfectly, to be fair to him, and he's one-on-one with the keeper, just like he bloody wants. It's almost as if that's his most effective way to play football. One thing I will add towards the end of this video is obviously the Premier League is moving again, slowly swinging back to the age of the striker, the number 9, getting in behind, scoring goals, a proper goal scorer poacher. You know, we got Haaland, we got Nunez, we've got Callum Wilson, of all people. I don't know if these strikers are just scared of showing any sort of technical ability at all because they're absolutely petrified that their manager might put them out on the left or right, to be honest with you. There's a real lack of link-up play with them. We've had 6 or 7 years of the Premier League absolutely loving wide forwards. You know, anyone with an ounce of goal-scoring capability just gets shoved out onto the left or right. But now, like I said, we're swinging back to the old era of a classic number 9. But, you know, let's see if you've got a little bit more to your game than just being a big lad up top. For me, one of the best times of the season is the start of the season. To me, it's really interesting seeing how each team sort of lines up, the different formations being used. Tactics are constantly evolving, especially with the introduction of managers like Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Antonio Conte. Football isn't what it used to be. There's fluid formations, fluid positions, constant tactical evolution, and it's just interesting to see where each manager will take it. It's just funny how we're all sort of like agreeing with each other. Maybe we should maybe sign a striker, like just at least have one on the books. You know, Brighton have Danny Welbeck. They were on it years ago. Get a striker on your books like Danny Welbeck and you'll be fine. We'll end it on Graham Potter. Big up, you lad. I'm a big fan of you. Wouldn't mind you managing England, to be honest with you. I also think you look a little bit like Gareth Southgate as well. Anyway, don't know how to end these videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you.